This is my dog, Reggie. Isn't he manly? Reggie had an upset stomach after Thanksgiving. Not unusual. Did you eat something you shouldn't have? He doesn't, he won't tell me. He's shaking. See, even my dogs shake at the vet. He's shaking because he's unsure of what his dad's going to do to him. Here, he knows that things happen here to a dog, so he's worried. So Reggie, so the shaking isn't actually a symptom of his stomach. What it is it's a response to fear. So we'll discount that as we examine him, and I just want to go through a brief exam and tell myself, Reggie, did you, well, since I'm not talking to a client, I'll talk to my dog. Reggie, did you eat anything that was upsetting your stomach? Did you eat a fatty piece of food, like a beef scrap? No? Did you eat a new food or treat? Reggie, did you eat a new food or treat? Oh yes, he did. He ate a chicken strip that I got. Now I got it, it's American made, it's not from China, but it's all chicken, it doesn't have any wheat in it, because sometimes wheat treats can cause vomiting, and sometimes beef can cause vomiting, and beef fat. So, are those chicken strips making you vomit? Are they making you sick? He's not sure. Any new food? Did you change your food? No, I've just been feeding him dehydrated food from Honest Kitchen, and added a little cooked chicken to it, and I've been feeding him canned duck and potato. So it's the same things, isn't it, Reggie? So what happened, Reggie? Oh, see, and he's licking his lips. That's a sign of nausea. So what happened? He's been acting normal all day and hasn't been acting sick at all. And then at night when he goes to bed, he throws up in Lana's bed. Lana's my wife. And she's way over on the other side, so it doesn't affect me. But that pile of vomit on her or near her seems to offend her. Can you imagine? So she said, can you get him checked? And I said, that's what I do, why not? So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to do a physical exam. After the history, which you just heard, which is he's throwing up in bed under the covers. And he's only done it a couple times. And there's been one new treat, which is a dehydrated chicken treat from USA. So the teeth, the gums are nice and pink. He's pretty well hydrated because he's only puked a couple times and he's been drinking water. His nose is cold, which is a sign he's not dehydrated. And eyes are nice and clear, no gunk in his ears. His lymph nodes, which are glands on the side of his face, are normal. And the rest of his body's pretty normal. It's not got any lumps or bumps. Whenever they have pain or vomit, we always check their intestines and their abdomen. I can feel his little bladder. Because see, in a dog, we can actually feel intestines, and we can feel the stomach and the kidneys somewhat, and if the liver's real large, we can feel that. And also, we can, as we push our fingers together, we can feel them react to it. If they got a sore stomach or sore intestine, say something's blocking them. My wife actually said, Greg, do you think he has a blockage? I mean, of course I don't. If I did, I would have brought him in sooner. But that's okay. I'm sorry to regress like that. Anyway, so I put my finger together and I don't feel any pain of a blockage. But many clients, like my wife, thinks the minute they vomit a couple times, they have a blockage. It's usually more indigestion than a blockage. And then lastly, you're a good boy, Reg. Yeah, he's a good boy. He doesn't want it. He's sick. He doesn't want to be sick. I don't want to be sick either. Anyway, so then we're going to listen to his heart. and it's nice and strong. There's no murmurs. We listen to a rhythm of a heartbeat. We want it to have a constant rhythm, just like a bass beat in a song. So, and the lungs are nice and clear. So what's the next step? Reggie, would you mind if I ran some blood work and took some x-rays and possibly did a contrast study, gave you some barium, and maybe did an ultrasound? What do you think, Reg? He's bored. I think it's a good idea. It's going to cost a few $100s. Do you have the money for that? Reggie, do you have money? Yeah, that'll work.
After the exam, sometimes we take x-rays if we're concerned about something we feel in the abdomen, and we take them from the side, we take them from the belly to the back, and the x-rays will show us things that may be inside that could be causing a problem. It could show excess gas, it could show a blockage with a big bunch of gas, it could show a white object or an object in there that shouldn't be there. So basically, I know it's hard for you to see in this x-ray anything, but we're looking for things that we don't see. And then next what we'll do is we'll give them a white liquid. It's called barium, and barium will help us outline the stomach and the intestines, and it will actually go through from the stomach, through the intestines, into the colon, so we can make sure there's no obstruction. Now, I'm pretty sure, darn sure, Reggie doesn't have any problem, but because he's my dog, I just want to make sure. And so we're going to show you how we do it. We give him the liquid, and then we immediately take the x-ray, because we want to see it go through the esophagus, or through the mouth of the stomach, and we want to see it go from the stomach into the intestines. So in order to let you see what happens here is, this is a screenshot so I can't point out, but you can see right above the heart, which is that grayish thing in the chest, which is the black thing with the ribs coming down, there's some barium in there that's going through the esophagus. And then distal to that, or a ways from that, that big blob is in the stomach. So now what it's done is it's gone from the esophagus to the stomach, and that area in the esophagus worried me because...
So the first x-ray shows that barium is going clear through the stomach. Now that worried me because it looks like it's stopped, and it looks like there's bubbles in there, or pieces of something that could be dangerous. So we're going to make sure that that clears up. I stared at that for a little while. Then after the contrast leaves the stomach, you can see it's going down into the folds of the stomach as the stomach is all contracted, and it's pushed the barium out and into the intestines. So this is the jejunum, which is a long loops and loops of intestine, and you can see where the barium, where the intestine is contracting and moving the barium forward. That's what the little balls are. Looks like Christmas lights. And from the side, you can see now that the barium has moved through the esophagus completely, gone through the stomach, is in this a little bit, you can see it's still a little bit of left in the stomach, but it's passed through into the intestine, and actually is going all the way up into the ileocecal area, where the intestine is joined up with the colon and starting to enter the colon.
And we're taking blood from Reggie. If you hear him yelp and struggle, it's because he's not very good with pain. So here's an owner sitting here knowing that their dog is going to not act really well, but look at him, what a strong man he is. Don't hurt him, ladies, please.
Well, I just wanted to show you what happens when we draw blood. After we draw blood, we put it in the machines, and Stephanie, which is an intern at our clinic, is training, so this is a little bit erratic video about how we use our lab work, but you can see it's got screens on it, just like your computer, and it guides us through what we're supposed to do. And we draw it, we put the serum into tubes, and we spin it, or the plasma, the blood in these tubes, and we spin it, and we draw off the top, and we put it into the machines. As you can see, it comes out and puts its little containers out there, and we draw up the serum after we spin down the blood, and we put it into the machine, and it will test for various things. And at Reggie, I want to make sure his kidneys are doing good, and his liver is doing good, and his red blood count is okay, and his white blood count is okay. When we do blood tests, probably 90% of the time they're fine. So that's great. So what you're doing is you're paying for peace of mind a lot of times. So you can tell your vet if you're having big economic problems, maybe you want them to run it, maybe you don't. But what I do is I always like it as a screen for dogs, because if their kidneys or liver are having problems, I want to know. Now this test is a SNAP test, we call it, and it tests the pancreas. Now Reggie's vomited a couple times. I want to make sure his pancreas isn't inflamed. Pancreatitis is very common in dogs and can get dangerous. So we're putting, again, some of the serum in there and inverting it once you put it in what's called a reagent. And then you'll see her dump it into the SNAP test, and then the serum will combine with the stuff and start moving up and turn that little filled blue, and then once it's got up to the dot, then she'll snap it down and run it in the machine, and it'll tell us how Reggie's pancreas was doing. Fortunately, it looked great.
We wouldn't usually ultrasound a client's dog for vomiting a couple times, but I'm being thorough, because it's my little dog. So an ultrasound shows bounces sound waves off the organs, and you can see the heart here through the diaphragm beating away. That's always a good sign. And then here's the liver. It looks grainy, except for the hepatic veins are very kind of lighter, and they look like little circles, little dark circles. So just the graininess of the liver is normal. So. And then I'm going to turn my probe to the side, and then we get a pretty good scan of the liver. We don't see any weird inflamed patterns like infection. And then when the veins come together, it's called the porta patus. There it is. Whoop, porta patus. Back away, come together. Back away, come together. So here's the stomach lining. And the stomach, and it's gassy, so you can see the beams come down. It's just like they come down from the clouds when it's a cloudy sky, the sun's going through it. See? Little rays, that's what it's, ooh, pretty. And off the spleen then comes the kidney. The kidney's sitting right down below the spleen going, I want my picture taken too. And that's a normal sized kidney. So here's the other kidney. And you have to get the probe just right to make it look symmetrical. But it's got a lot of stuff around it, so a lot of gas from the intestine, because Reggie's got a gassy bowel. And here's this little bladder. Things that have water in them are dark, like veins and arteries. That's urine. And this is the bladder wall. And I can even make it bigger bladder, but it doesn't mean you'll have to pee. It just means it's a bigger picture on the screen. And that's an artery running below the bladder right there. And then here's the bladder. The ultrasound scan came out pretty normal. His liver looks normal, and his kidneys look pretty normal, and he's got urine in his bladder, and he's still scared. And now he doesn't know who to turn to, because my technicians have tortured him, and now I've tortured him. You'll be all right, Reg. You'll be all right. Oh, he likes to hug. I'm going to give him an injection of a really good anti-nausea drug. It's an antihistamine type drug, and it does sting, and he is a little bit sensitive. So we're going to put it right under the skin, and I know, I'm so sorry. We're just torturing you today all over the place. And then we're going to wait and put him in a kennel. Yes, even my dogs are on the kennel. and he's going to wait for his results. So your results will be out shortly, Reggie.
Many dogs during the holidays will eat something that they shouldn't, whether it be meat or a toy or a rug or a plant or something dead or garbage. And Pepcid will always work, so check out the website for dosages at dogdishdiet.com. Have a great holiday.